Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd be lying if I said that I was surprised. This is the least shocking thing I've ever seen. Marathon has been put on indefinite hiatus. Do you remember Marathon? You remember that game that looked like it was made in some sort of like 2001 tech demo for the PS2? This game that had no soul and felt like it was some kind of woke abomination. A game that, I mean, from the aesthetics of it, didn't know what it wanted to be. And so you look at you look at what Marathon could have been, and you look at what the final result was, and it pretty much speaks for itself. So we're going to take a look real quick to refresh your memory. But I mean, it was a game that felt soulless and didn't know what it wanted to be. The aesthetics, I mean, some of the graphics look all right, but like the character designs, which are the most important part, the aesthetics of it were totally and completely lacking. They looked terrible. And the thing is, instead of being some weird punk freak, like degenerate left wing garbage, you could have gone full masculine, made it like a full alien versus like soldiers, warriors. Because I remember Marathon. I remember what it was in the past, and this ain't it. You want to create something that's dark and gritty and interesting, and you've got troops and different weapons. You don't want a multicolored puke fest. And this is one of the easiest things to get right, and yet every time they get it wrong, who the hell wants to play a game that looks like this? With characters that look like this. This is shit. But it's been put on indefinite hiatus. But the thing is, the damage that this does to the reputation of Bungie, it is incalculable. And I want you to remember that Bungie was a company that at one point could do no wrong. They would make game after game after game that were just legendary. And people had a lot of faith in the company and the presentation. But unfortunately, today, we're left with whatever the hell this remnant is. And so, my perspective on Marathon is I think the best thing would be for it not to come out. Yeah, for it not to come out and for you to put those resources towards something that's actually going to be productive. Now, if you wanted to scrap everything that you've done and rebuild from scratch, that could work. I mean, the name Marathon still has some lingering nostalgia, but it's not this. And if these are the people that are making the decisions, you need to fire all of them. Like, who thought this would be a good idea? Who thought this would be cool? Like, what the hell were you doing? What were you thinking? This is all wasted money. And I don't think that there's any way that you could possibly justify this. Look at how bad this looks. Look at how stupid this looks. And I mean, this is going to be forgotten in, a couple days, and people aren't even going to remember that this was a thing. But I do think that it's important that we continue to talk about this. Like, what was that? A rainbow colored explosion? Is this like the LGBT in your body trying to, come out? Like, what are we doing here? This is weird and creepy and gross. And we're going to go for the stylized art. You tried to appeal to mentally ill Twitter freaks, and this was the result. Instead of doing what you should have done, making an epic sci-fi with masculine trends, masculine men being masculine men, and of course, masculine men want to save female fertile women. It's one of the basic biological realities. But you make these gender amorphous freak characters that nobody nobody relates to. This is just weird. This is a bad idea all the way around. So hopefully this never sees the light of day and you just absolutely scrap it and go back to the drawing board and realize that this sort of feminized male, masculinized female perspective is just not ever going to work. And this thing looks like shit. Look at this. Embarrassing. You actually thought this was good enough? God. But yeah, I haven't seen a lot of people talking about this. That Marathon is on indefinite hiatus. An indefinite hiatus basically means the project is done. If they have had so many problems and so many financial hiccups that they're not even giving you a time frame. They're like, indefinitely this is going on hiatus. That means that basically everything that we've seen up till now is bunk. That they're not going to do anything with it moving forward, nor should they. I mean, look at this. Just take a look at this. They thought this was going to be the next big thing. Are you kidding? People want characters that look like Commander Shepard. Attractive, muscular, masculine, badass. They don't want whatever you're trying to sell here. And that's an important lesson that these people seem not to be able to learn, is that your freakery. Nobody cares. If you want to be a furry or you want to be somebody in the game development space and you're a freak, I mean, just a disgusting freak, you go do that. But keep that shit out of your games. You make the games for the audience, not for yourself. How many times does that need to be explained? You are not making games for yourself. You're making games for an audience. They are the backbone of your game. They are the ones that are going to keep you in business so that you can make more games. That's why you make it for them. You make a story that you know that they're going to want to see and characters that you know that they're going to want to play. But you freaks at Bungie, you LGBTQ supporting weirdos, you think, no, it's all about me. It's all about me and exploring my artistic side and my sexuality, my this, my that. Nobody cares about you. You're irrelevant. You're nothing. And now you're going to lose your job. All because you couldn't do the most basic thing that a human being knows to do, which is to do things for the crowd. You make a game for the audience that's going to play it, not for you and your sick, perverted, weirdo little friends. It's one of the most basic things. Who do you think wants to play as this chick with the hair or this weirdo? Like, nobody wants to play as these characters. Nobody. And that's an important thing to keep in mind. Look at this. Looks terrible. Who would want to play this? This looks like, I mean, just look at it. God, this looks like somebody took Splatoon and turned it into some weird, like, sci-fi freak fest. I don't know how much more of this I want to watch, but I mean, I think it's abundantly clear why this didn't work. And it's not just me criticizing it. I can tell you what to do better. Go back and play the original Marathon games. Go back and play the original Marathon games and take the vibe and the feel from that and modernize it, add in new graphics. You know, create a new Master Chief, create a new Commander Shepard, create a new character that's badass and masculine and fits in the, sci-fi world, and go from there. That's what that's what you want to do and you need to do. But unfortunately, you got people working for you that put this shit out there, which is just horrible. Absolutely horrible. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to take much more time on this game. This game doesn't really deserve any more attention. But I did want to mention it. I did want to talk about it because Marathon, basically having the ripcord pulled from them, I think is one of the best things Bungie could do. This game looked atrocious. It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. And to all the people say, well, you got to wait and see. No, I don't. You only have to put your hand on the stove once to realize that it's hot and that's bad. Well, at least for me. Some retards on Twitter have to keep putting their hand on the stove and realizing that it's hot and that's bad. But usually it should take you one time. The people making these sorts of games, the people making these sorts of decisions are not the ones that should be in charge. Anyway, that'll do it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching. See you next time.